are the best cruise ports in the world? Not the best destinations, not the best excursions, but the actual ports themselves.
Yeah, to us, a great cruise port is where you just step off the ship. You're just in the middle of something. You're not having to worry about transportation, not a lot of planning. You just go. Hi, I'm Jan.
And I'm Tracy. And today we're going to give you our top 10 cruise ports in the world that we have personally experienced.
And this was actually harder than you might think because we've had over 500 days at sea, but we've also visited 175 ports in 75 different countries. So picking 10 from all of these experiences was not very easy.
So before we started putting this list together, we realized pretty quickly that we needed to define what we mean by a great cruise port.
Yeah, because what we found is if you didn't do so, you end up comparing completely different experiences.
Exactly. So this isn't a list of the best places to travel to. This is about what you can experience the moment you step off the ship.
Yeah, so the first rule is this is about the port city itself. This means that places such as Civitavecchia or Florence, although they are gateways to Rome and Florence, but by definition, they're not great cruise ports. They're amazing destinations, but they're not really port experiences.
And rule number 2, this is about the port, not the scenery that you see from the ship. Because some of the most incredible places that we've ever sailed through, like Antarctica's Le Maire Channel or the Norwegian fjords, these are unforgettable experiences that you can see on and off the ship.
Yeah, but you don't dock there, so they don't count.
Now, one thing that really surprised us making up this list is the Caribbean didn't actually crack our top 10.
But there are 2 ports that we really love. In fact, the first one here might actually be number 11, but we just would think of these as kind of honorable mentions.
And the first is San Juan, Puerto Rico. You step off the ship and immediately, not only are you walking into the old town San Juan, you're walking into history, forts, colorful streets, Spanish colonial architecture, restaurants, music. It's one of the most culturally immersive ports in the Caribbean.
Then there is Cozumel, which is the complete opposite of San Juan. This one is less about history and more about just having a fantastic day, whether it is the clear water, which means you have great beach clubs, you have great scuba diving, and honestly, some of our best beach days has actually been in Cozumel, and I think is some of the best ones in the Caribbean.
So there we have set the rules. So let's begin with number 10.
And that is Trondheim, Norway. This is just one of those ports that quietly delivers exactly what we're looking for in a cruise port. You step off the ship and just within minutes, you're walking into the city, not just towards it, you're already in it.
And as you move along the river, you start to see these rows of colorful wooden buildings, and they're lining the river, and they reflect into the water, and it immediately feels like Norway. Not staged, not overdone, just real.
And then just steps from there, you go to the Nidaros Cathedral. This is one of my favorite churches in the world. It is often referred to as the Notre Dame of the North. Now, it also is the most important medieval cathedral in the country, built over the burial site of St. Olaf. And while you're standing there, you just feel the weight, the stone. You're able to be able to see all the intricate detail. It's one of those places that makes you slow down whether you intend to or not.
And then you continue towards the fortress, and everything just kind of comes together. You're looking back over the river, you're looking at the rooftops, the cathedral, and your ship sitting there in the harbor. It's compact, it's walkable, and the experience just builds on itself.
And that idea that everything connects right from the port is really what defines this entire list.
So coming in at number 9, San Francisco, California. And this one really starts before you step off the ship. So as you sail in, you're sailing under the Golden Gate Bridge. You're not just passing under it, you're watching it happen. The scale of the bridge, the color. Sometimes you even see fog rolling in, and it just builds on that sense of arrival.
And then you dock right there by Fisherman's Wharf, which is really great. And you have the waterfront that's opening right up to you. You're able to look across the bay. You're right there in the distance is the Alcatraz Island sitting in the water.
And one of our favorite things when we were there was getting on the cable cars. They've been running for over 100 years, and you're standing there and you're holding on as they rumble up and down these hills. It's not just transportation, it's really part of the experience.
Now, as you move from there, you can be able to go to Chinatown, which is great. It's colorful. There's lots of energy. You have some really good food there. And then just steps away from there, you have Lombard Street, which is also known as the most crooked street in the world. And you realize just how much is packed into one space.
And And then when you get over to the Coit Tower and you look back over the bay, you see how it all fits together. The water, the city, the movement. It's just one of those ports that you don't have to plan the day. You just kind of step into it.
Now, San Francisco is one of the stops we had in our 2023 World Cruise. And near the end of the journey, kind of the conversation on board is, what was your favorite stop? And when I asked that of most of the passengers, by the way, almost all of them were Europeans, what their favorite port of the over 50 we had, so many of them actually remarked it was San Francisco. And to me, that cements San Francisco on this top 10 list.
And from San Francisco, we move from a city that's layered geographically to one that's layered historically. And that is Tallinn, Estonia, coming in at number 8. And this is one of the most immersive ports that we've been to.
And once again, this is one of those cities that right from the dock, you're walking right into it, because it's just a short walk to the Fat Margaret Tower, which is the part of the old city wall. And once you go through the gate there, once you pass through it, it's just like stepping into another century.
So Tallinn was one of the major cities in the Hanseatic League, an old medieval shipping trading network, and you feel that history just everywhere that you go. Everything draws you towards the town hall square. There's restaurants and people moving around. It's a gathering place, and it's been that way for centuries.
And what I love about Tallinn is you can just wander. You can find those smaller streets. You can climb up to overlooks where you can see the sea beyond the rooftops. And what really stands out to me is how manageable it is to just walk through it. It's also a capital city, but it feels intimate, and that's what really makes it a great port.
And then you move into a city that feels almost the opposite. It feels more modern and open, and it is incredibly easy to move through. And number 7 on our list is Copenhagen, Denmark, and this is just a really easy city to enjoy.
And where most people start here is that Nyhavn. That is that colorful waterfront, which you always see in pictures, and it really is beautiful, and it just really kind of allows you to see all the boats, and it just pulls you into it.
But what really stood out to me was the rhythm of the city. There's so many people on bicycles. They're biking everywhere. There's tons of open spaces, tons of green spaces. It's just a relaxed way of moving through it. And we spent a lot of time around the palace area as well, and it adds that sense of history, but at the same time, it doesn't feel overwhelming. It's just one of those places where nothing really feels complicated. You can just explore it and enjoy it.
Yeah, and then we make a jump from easy and relaxed to one of the most historically densest places in the world. Number 6 is Istanbul. This is really where we see the list take a step up.
So you step in the city and immediately you are standing in front of the Hagia Sophia. It's a massive dome and it has layers of history to it. It was originally a church, and then it moved to a mosque, and then it became a museum, and now it's back to a mosque again. You're not just looking at architecture, you're really standing inside a history.
And then from the Hagia Sophia, no more than maybe a 5-minute walk, you're at the Blue Mosque. From the outside, it's defined by its minarets and symmetry, but inside it feels bright, open, and almost airy.
And then after you've seen the Blue Mosque, you make your way down to the Rustam Pasha Mosque, and that's near the spice market closer to the water. It's quieter, it's smaller, but inside it has all of these deep blue Iznik tiles, and they're intricately detailed, handmade each one by one. And because the space is more intimate, you feel it more.
And while you're there, go into the spice market, you see the colors, the smells, the energy. It's just an experience in itself. If you really want to shop, then you got to go to the Grand Bazaar, because it's not just a market, it's a maze of thousands of shops that have been operating for over centuries.
And of course, no visit to Istanbul is complete without going to my favorite spot in the city, the Basilica Cisterns. They're dimly lit. Columns are rising out of the water. There's reflections everywhere. It almost doesn't feel real.
And Istanbul is pretty much the only country in the world, or city in the world, that you can just get on a boat and just casually cross between Europe and Asia. There is just nowhere like it.
And from there, we shift from history to one of the most visually iconic ports in the world, Sydney, Australia. And if you get to dock in the right spot, this port is absolutely amazing.
And I think the right spot is actually called the Rock. And if you're docked there, you are right between the Sydney Opera House and the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And when you're there, it just doesn't feel real.
You can tour the Opera House, you can walk the botanical gardens, or you can just naturally just wander through the city. And if you want to do something different, go get an Uber and have them take you out to Bondi Beach.
And while there's so many places to see in Sydney, I believe one of the best parts is just being in the harbour, watching the sailboats sail through it, watching the light change, and it's just really one of those places that stays with you.
And then we go from one of the most incredible harbors out there to one that feels completely different. Another really cool harbor, and that's Hong Kong. And the arrival is really cool, but I will tell you, departing from Hong Kong in the evening is one of the most memorable experiences we've ever had.
Yeah, because where your ship is, man, you're surrounded by all these skyscrapers raising up all on sides. It's dense, it's vertical, and it's immediate.
And then you head up to Victoria Peak, and suddenly you're looking out over the entire harbor, the skyline, the ships. It just gives you that full perspective.
And then when you go back to the city, everything continues to be layered. You have ferries and walkways. You have the world's longest escalator. You have to go with it, okay? But it's not just movement, man. You just have everything around you, vertical as well as horizontal.
And then there's all the markets selling all sorts of goods. It's intense, but in the best possible way.
And now we come to our top 3 ports in the world. So far, that is. In fact, there's plenty more to explore. So take a moment to help us out and tell us in the comments where your favorite ports of the world are, and maybe we'll put those on our own bucket list. But for now, from the intensity of Hong Kong, we go to the city that feels completely different depending upon when you're actually experiencing it.
And that is Osaka, Japan. And this is a city we think has 2 personalities. So during the daytime, we found it to be a little bit more relaxed. You can go and explore the Osaka Castle. It's set up on this elevated stone walls with wide open grounds. Everything feels really, really approachable.
Yeah, the city is so easy to walk through. In fact, we walked over 40,000 steps here, and honestly, we didn't even realize it.
And then there's the food. This might be one of the best food cities we've ever had on our list.
Especially if you like sushi like we do.
But then at nighttime, it completely flips. A place called Dotonbori lights up right downtown. There's neon signs everywhere. There's reflections. There's movement. It's electric.
And if you have an overnight, man, I'll tell you, top off your evening with a bottle of wine at the top of the Swiss Hotel, looking over the city. And quite frankly, that cements Osaka as our 3rd favorite port in the world.
And then we move into a city that might be the most complete experience of all, and that is Barcelona, Spain.
Yeah, this is a city that basically you think of it in layers. To start with, you go into the Sagrada Familia and its interior. The light and color, quite frankly, that light and color is actually something you actually feel. It's just amazing.
And once you've gone to the Sagrada Familia, you keep going on your Gaudi journey, and you get to go as you walk through the city. So you can head up to the Park Güell, where the architecture feels playful, almost, it's just insane. There's curved lines and mosaics, color everywhere, and views looking back over Barcelona. And then you start noticing that Gaudi just isn't isolated to 1 or 2 places. His influence is woven throughout the entire city, with famous homes like Casa Batlló to details that you catch just walking down the street. In many ways, Barcelona just feels like an open-air art museum.
And then this city shifts gears as you make your way down to the La Rambla with its movement, the street performers, the crowds, the energy, and then it slows things down even more, drift into the Gothic corridor where everything narrows into stone streets, hidden courtyards, small restaurants, which are really, really delicious, tucked into corners that makes them feel like they've been there forever.
And of course, this is where you're going to stop off and you're going to have your tapas. You're not going to rush through a meal, but you're going to slow down. You're going to do some sharing plates, maybe some patatas bravas or jamon or grilled bread with tomatoes, and of course the Spanish wine. And then you just take in the rhythm of the city around you.
Yeah, and don't leave Barcelona until you've gone up to Montjuic. From there, you can look over the city, the waterfront, and very often you're overlooking your ship sitting right there in the harbor.
And it just keeps building.
Now, which brings us to our favorite port city in the world.
Singapore.
Yeah.
100%.
Now, here, you start at the Marina Bay Sands, that iconic hotel structure with one that looks like a surfboard on top. And then back behind that, you move into the Gardens of the Bay, which is one of the best gardens and botanical gardens you're ever going to see, especially the Super Tree Grove, which is absolutely beautiful at night.
And then you can go to some place like Spago for a meal. This is up on top of the Marina Bay Sands overlooking the city. And then it's off to Chinatown, and there's just so much there to see. You might even see the Buddha tooth relic at the temple.
Then you got to go to the Raffles Hotel for a Singapore sling because it was invented there, and 2, no visit to Singapore seems complete unless you drop $40 for this drink.
And wait 2 hours in line.
Yeah, it's absolutely worth it though.
But But maybe you'll take a leisurely sailboat cruise on the Marina Bay. It's just so peaceful as you look at the city around you.
But then there's also the hawker centers, with each has scores of different food stalls all in one place, each specializing in something different, but all of them are packing flavor with every bite.
Everything connects and everything just works there. It is the most complete port we've ever experienced.
Yeah, and if Singapore is the most complete port, we've now completed our list. But you can continue to see why we believe that Singapore is the best port city in the world by watching this video. And until the next horizon, keep on traveling.